10 incredible abandoned airports from around the world. Berlin Tempelhof Airport, the mother of all airports, located in Berlin, was constructed in 1923 under the Nazi government. Operation was ceased in 2008. Bullet holes from World War II are still present in the terminal following fights in 1945. The airport wasn't used for incoming and outgoing planes during the war, but rather a factory for Nazi aircraft. The airport wasn't used for civil and freight until the Americans allowed it in 1951, but were once again suspended in 1975. In 1990 the Berlin Wall came down and the airport continued normal operation. The Americans handed over the airport in 1993 to Berlin, which continued commercial flight until its closure. Today the airport continues to sit empty. Ciudad Real Central Airport opened in 2009 in central Spain, but was closed only 3 years later. The airport was made to accommodate 600,000 passengers a year and offered a high-speed train system with connection to Madrid. During its peak the rich and famous used the airports for getaway trips such as Prince Harry going hunting nearby. The airport was designed to accommodate some of the biggest planes in the world such as the Airbus A380. Spain's financial troubles eventually lead to its demise and closure. The airport has recently sold with goals to have flights again in the future. Floyd Bennett Field located in New York opened in 1931 as one of the gold standards of airports and was closed by the U.S. Navy in 1971. The airport didn't skimp on anything including your everyday concrete runway which allowed for the biggest planes of its time. 26 around the world and transatlantic record seekers began or ended at the airfield. The Navy took over the airport in 1941 following the opening of today's LaGuardia Airport. Following World War II the airport was a naval air training station until it closed following the Vietnam War in 1971. The airfield has since been demolished for a park. Robert Mueller Municipal Airport was opened in 1930 in Austin, Texas. The municipal airport operated as Austin's main airport until the city began to grow, which left the airport landlocked. Eventually this led to its close in 1999. In 1990 the East Terminal was opened. In 1995 a federal inspection facility was opened at the airport. While it served thousands of people each year, being landlocked led to the demise of the airport. Following its close it was torn down for housing by developers. Today all that is left standing is the control tower, which is surrounded by housing. Manston Airport in Kent, England, opened in 1916 as a Royal Naval Station but ultimately closed after several ownership changes in 2014. The airport was used strictly as a military airport until a joint Royal Air Force and civil operation was formed in 1960. During the 60s there were upwards of 700,000 passengers a year being flown in and out. The airport also featured airshows from 1988 until 2013. Following the closing in 2014 there have been campaigns for its reopening, but today the airport continues to stand empty. Marine Corps Air Station El Toro located in Orange County, California, opened in 1943 and was used until its closing in 1999. The air station was used as a master jet station and main center of support for the Pacific Fleet. During its lifetime the air station was home to 50,000 military service members and their families. During its lifetime it wasn't always blue skies. The base also was home to several airplane crashes including the downing of a C-135 in 1965 that cost 80 servicemen their lives. Today the air station remains closed and much of the land remains untouched. Montreal, Mirabel International in Montreal, Canada, was opened in 1975 but due to the location was vacated in 2004. When opened the airport was the largest in the world with hopes to forever be the largest in North America. Mirabel was located 50 miles from town which led to only an average of 2.5 million passengers a year, which is far from the estimated 50 million. Eventually travelers began to use Dorval Airport, which led to the airport being used for freight. As of today the airport reopened sometime around 2008 and is used for business and flight training. Nicosia Airport, located in Cyprus, was built in the 1930s as a dual military and civil-operated airfield, but its fate was sealed in 1974 due to war. During World War II, the civil operations were removed, and it was used strictly for military operations. Civil operating aircraft were reintroduced in 1948 and the first terminal was built in 1949. The military left the airport in 1966 due to limited space and the airport closed in 1974. The last commercial airline flight was in 1977 when the UN allowed for 3 planes to be rescued during wartime. Today the airport continues to sit empty. Royal Air Force Upper Heyford in Heyford, Oxfordshire, began operations in 1915 by the Royal Air Force before transferring to the US Air Force, who closed it in 1994. During its time the base acted in large as Air Force training centers. Royal Air Force handed over the keys to the US in 1951, who used it as a forward operating center. The base survived World War II, Desert Storm, and the Cold War, but couldn't survive the test of time. Since its closure the base continues to stand empty after a brief stint in 2012 as an airsoft center. Yasser Arafat International Airport in Gaza was built in 1998, just 3 short years later closed in 2001. The airport was built on the Gaza Strip and was paving the way for Iranian and Palestinian independence. The airport was built to handle hundreds of thousands on an annual basis, but that time never came. In 2001 peace talks collapsed and the airport was bombed. The airport soon became the site for terror organizations to launch rockets. Today the only thing that remains is a few standing concrete walls and rubble. Subscribe to our channel and make sure to turn on notifications, so you will be the first to know about videos like these and other topics. Thank you for watching.